Morning, everyone. Sean Ruggiero here. Thanks for joining us for the FFL AMS. That's Family First Life Advanced Market Sales. I'm going to talk about something today that has plagued us. When I say plagued us, I'm intentionally using that negative connotation. It is the Better Business Bureau, and we have really any company. So this training can be used universally for, I think, anyone who sells any sort of insurance or financial product. But the Better Business Bureau has really created a racket. Some people call it the mafia. I think I would agree. And I'm not being funny, but people are looking to the Better Business Bureau for the concept that it's going to help them out as a consumer. Yet it is not a good way to gauge a financial product. I was tweeting earlier this week on Safe Money Smart. If you don't follow that tweet, please do. It's a great way to get information. I also have it posted through on Facebook and LinkedIn. But I was talking about the idea that consumers are using the Better Business Bureau to figure out, to justify if a financial product is right for them. That's what financial rating agencies are for. That's what Fitch's is for, Moody's, AM Best. The Better Business Bureau, in my opinion, is a racket, okay? And there's some proof to that. So it comes up all the time. Now, first, let me explain this. When a consumer who is going to purchase, let's say, an annuity from you through Athene, is researching and comes back to you, and I get this question all the time, Bridget gets this question, Scott, Jay, we hear it all the time. Hey, I looked up Athene in the Better Business Bureau, and they got really bad reviews. Now, what I want to warn you is that probably 75% of the time, 80% of the time, they're using that as chaff. They're using that as a reason to say no. You have not made the sale. And properly addressing the issues with the Better Business Bureau is still not going to give you that sale. There's something deeper there. They don't trust you. They're not ready to move. You've done something wrong. I just say that because a lot of times people are fixated on that for the wrong reason. Now, with the other 20%, 25%, you legitimately have people who are doing their homework. Keep in mind, they're dealing with what they know. We serve a lot of the middle Americans, all right? They didn't go to college to get a financing degree. Heck, they might have not gone to college. Not that that's the litmus test of if you're intelligent or not. It has nothing to do with that. What do people know? They know the Better Business Bureau. That's why the Better Business Bureau has been successful. But it's not the way you review financial products, okay? It's not based on the Better Business Bureau. So we have a document, a 3-pager, that if you email annuity at Family First Life, we can help you overcoming objections specifically about Athene and some of the other carriers that we run into this with. So let's talk about this here briefly. If you go to the Better Business Bureau and search Athene, all right, you will get some negative reviews having to do with customer service. Understand this, most of those reviews for the Better Business Bureau revolve around the old Aviva life policies. Aviva is domiciled out of London in the UK, and they sold their North American book of business. And who bought it? Athene did, okay? Now, they had to make a purchase right away. So even though they only do annuities, they had to purchase all of the annuity and all of the life business. This is back in October of 2013, right around when Family First Life was getting started. They then sold immediately the entire life business to Global Atlantic, okay, who still services it to this day. So most BBB complaints, that's most Better Business Bureau complaints, revolve around the life insurance book that was being temporarily serviced by Athene. All right. The reality is that Athene actually has a very, very high customer service rating for annuities. Here's what the actual annuity customers are saying. Below is a table summarizing the results for 2017, quarter by quarter, of the top focuses in percentage of respondents who gave either a 4 or 5 rating when they were asked about the customer service. So if we look at this here, and again, you can email annuity@familyfirstlife.com and we will send you this information. But they have thousands of respondents, over 5,000 respondents, who gave an overall satisfaction percentage of 94%, 93%, 89%, so a grand total of 92% for both resolution and effort when it came to customer service. So we need to redirect people. But another thing we need to do is we need to make sure they understand the Better Business Bureau is not a good place to be looking for reviews on your financial products, what your retirement is going to be. There is an email that's included with this. So you can send this email out to anyone. I won't bore you with reading it here, but it starts out, this is something that I wrote handling this, starts out saying, it is unfortunate that entities like the Better Business Bureau are so influential when it comes to evaluation of financial entities. First, if you look at those complaints, and I go in to talk about that. Second, the AMS rating is what matters, not the Better Business Bureau. Third, you can find complaints against anyone, right? You're going to find what you're looking for. So I would suggest the following, okay? Now, let's take this a step further. If we're going to have the Better Business Bureau be standing between our clients and a sound financial product, such as a fixed index annuity, because they've gone there and seen that Athene has a bad rating, well, then we need to fire back and make sure people understand who they're dealing with when it comes to the Better Business Bureau. So, a couple articles. There's 3 articles that are included in this packet if you email annuity@familyfirstlife.com. And the Better Business Bureau, one of the country's best-known consumer watchdog groups, is being accused of business owners running a pay-for-play. Okay, so this was an article that was done by Jovis Free and Brian Ross in November of 2010. And there's 3 different articles in there. So to prove the point, a group of Los Angeles business owners paid the $425 to the Better Business Bureau, and they were, get this, they were able to obtain an A rating for a non-existent company. So think about that. The same rating agency that you're using to base your financial future on, the Better Business Bureau, has given an A rating to a company that didn't even exist. And it was called Hamas, named after the Middle Eastern terror group, okay? So right now, this rating system is really unworthy of customer trust or consumer trust and confidence, said to Connecticut Attorney General Richard Blumenthal. So you actually have a link to Blumenthal's letter. This is an Attorney General saying, hey folks, don't base your decisions on what the Better Business Bureau is doing. It's a scam. Let's take this a little bit further. The BBB, the Better Business Bureau, also awarded in California an A+ rating to a skinhead neo-Nazi website called Stormfront. Really? I mean, this is the type of thing that if you pay the $425, you're going to get a good rating. If you don't, you're going to suffer. Okay? In this case, they ran the credit card, and within 12 hours, they were approved with an accredited number. So how much research is actually going on there? And this is important information to pass on to your clients because it's standing in the way, like I said, between them and a sound financial future with a fixed index annuity. ABC News investigated and found numerous examples of well-known companies that are not members of the Better Business Bureau being branded with F grades, often apparently based on the scant evidence of a small number of complaints. For example, a 5-star Ritz-Carlton hotel in Boston was given an F rating after only 2 complaints. When they asked the general manager, he said, we've serviced over 1 million customers and we have 2 complaints and we have an F rating. I can only assume that this is because we haven't paid them money. Another celebrity who was in the news talking about the Better Business Bureau was a celebrity chef, Wolfgang Puck. I'm sure you've heard of him. He told ABC News that parts of his food and restaurant empire have received F grades because he refused to pay the Better Business Bureau. He says, quote, you know, if you become a member, you're sure to get an A. But if you don't pay, it's very difficult to get an A, says Wolfgang Puck, who has been a regular on ABC News program Good Morning America since 1986, and he's talked about this from time to time. I think where you have to join an organization and pay just to get a good grade is wrong, and consumers shouldn't use that. So a couple of things there. Again, this is not just here to badmouth the Better Business Bureau. It's here because it's interfering with clients' ability to make a proper decision. So if you want to get this document, just email annuity@familyfirstlife.com and we'll send it over to you, and then you're better armed and better prepared to help consumers make an informed choice based on fact, based on financial security, not based on if you pay to play. All right, everyone, Bridget's going to be next with What's News. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We're just going to jump in with our weekly leaderboards here. This is for week 15 of IUL's issue paid. Brian R., 2,437. David W., 5,786. Faith G., 1,502. Daniel L., 2,624, Lincoln D, 2,400, William M, 1,103. And then for our annuity leaderboard, these are annuities issued from April 4th to April 10th. We have David P and Danielle B with a split of 297,964, Matt W with 188,148, James F with 169,492, Jared H, $164,084, Jonathan W, $117,000, Helena V with $100,000, Anthony A with $93,094, Brian M with $91,029, Pablo P with $59,763, Louis D with $13,225, and Todd S with $12,000. That brings our total for the week just above $1.3 million. Again, still a really big pending business pipeline with Athene right now, right around 30 million. So we have lots to work on and lots to get pushed through. I'm excited to help you guys do that. This week, we are just going to go through this AMS site. You know that it is now launched and live. And so I just wanted to point out a couple more features for you here. I'll go through each tab, but there's a few I want to stop on and explain. The Ask a Specialist, you already know about this one we went through a couple weeks ago. This download PDF, again, is live, so that's exciting. Go ahead and feel free to use this in the home and print it. It has all the same questions there for you. Same thing with the IUL. Insurance strip account right there across the top, that is where you would access your free insurance strip account. If you already have one, it should automatically be upgraded to the free one. If you don't, you can go to that tab to register as well, using the same information that you registered for the FFL AMS site, okay? So that's that one. Commissions now has our promotion guidelines here along with a link out to each level. So if you are starting at green, you can simply pull up all of your specific product information and commission guide there. Next up is marketing. Let's see there. Okay, so these are our trifolds for order or download. Here's your annuity section. Here's your IOLs. Here's Medicare. These are pretty much all the same that is on the CRM, but you can now just access them through here for one easy stop there. Next one, AMS Live. This is all of our past episodes. If there's any that you want to rewatch or go through, these will always be loaded here shortly after they're aired for the week. So check back here for each week's episode if you miss it. And learning, right here we want to stop for a bit. This is a super important tab because this is how you can access any of the learning videos or modules that Sean refers to. We have two sections right now, the IUL and the annuity. The few here that I want to point out are these right here. How to sell using the trifold and illustration, and selling IULs using the trifold and illustration. As soon as you receive a response back from the Ask a Specialist for an illustration, the first thing you're going to want to do is come watch one of these videos, depending on which scenario you're exploring, annuities versus IULs. These are our most used videos, and they give a great walkthrough of the in-home using the trifold, as well as the illustration that you are likely being provided. Product variations obviously are in there, but for the general walkthrough of the illustration, this is such a great tool. So I want to point out where those are. It's under learning, annuities, and IULs. Some other things on here that you can do before you get an illustration are the 101s. We have the Annuity 101 right there, and then we have a good IUL 101 done by Nate Gerking of Global Atlantic right there. So those also are good ones. Some other videos in here, getting the most out of your insurance strip account. This, if for people who are new users on insurance strip, please visit this so you can see exactly how to set it up and learn why and how to utilize that resource appropriately. Especially do that because it is free to you. That's a huge savings, you guys. Some other videos in here, Safe Money Smart videos for client education. These are also great for you guys as agents to learn. We will be updating and posting new videos to this all the time. We would love to hear your feedback. If you think there's a video that would be helpful for you or your agency to grow from, please let us know that feedback so that we can work on getting you guys the best content that you want available. Coming soon, we're going to have a Getting Started series, which will be a guide done by myself. It'll be a short series of 5 different videos that just walk you through the first steps of writing an annuity or an IUL. So those will be just short 3 to 5 minute videos that you can blast out to new agents. We'll probably have them here right on the site. So watch for those coming soon, and other updates as well. Like I said, this is new and just launched. So if there is any feedback you guys have, that would be awesome. Anything you think would be helpful, please let us know. annuity@familyfirstlife.com. Thanks everyone, and have a great weekend.
Hey guys, my name is Samantha, or Sam. I'm with Family First Life Prosperity out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. I've been with Family First Life coming up on 3 years in June. Sean just wanted me to take a couple minutes and go over my most recent annuity that issued for $711,000 and some change. This specific sale originated from a mortgage protection second chance mail pro lead. I think it was $8 I bought it for. The client filled it out and wrote on there that he's a diplomat under the occupation. For some reason that almost intimidated me a little bit. I first had this notion that that diplomats were these like big scary people. The loan, though, I could tell was a line of credit. So I was already imagining all of the objections that I was going to get. Like we do, we kind of tend to have these preconceived ideas about what's going to happen in the appointment. The loan was for $40,000. When I dialed the lead, there were absolutely no objections. When I was in the home, there were really no objections either. I did the same thing I do in every single home, and I set the stage before I even started moving into the financial inventory. I told him, you know, I'm here for mortgage protection, but I do several things. I do mortgage protection, I do traditional life insurance, safe money growth, retirement income planning. So the questions that I ask you today are all going to be financial and health questions. That's going to help me determine what you qualify for as far as mortgage protection is concerned. So then I move into the questions. I'm asking him the same way I ask anybody else. Because he's a federal employee or a diplomat, I already knew he was going to be contributing to a TSP. In that general conversation, though, as I'm starting to ask the questions about, you know, his work, his income, things like that, he lets me know that he is going to be retiring. He's 64. He's going to be retiring as soon as he turns 65 in June. So I asked him, you know, how much he's contributing to his TSP, and then once he answered that question, without breaking eye contact or without changing my body language or anything like that, I just asked very directly, what is the current balance in your TSP right now? What would you estimate it to be? I used to kind of change my body language a lot, or not be able to look somebody in the eye when I asked the balance of a certain account, and then they would hesitate on giving it to me. So as long as you ask directly, and you have already set the stage before, the client has no problems, you know, so you already told them you're going to ask financial questions to determine what they qualify for, so he absolutely had no problems telling me what the balance was in his account. And he estimated at the time it was about $650,000. And then so I just asked him to go grab a statement for me. Because they had just moved in, he didn't have a statement on hand, so I asked him to pull it up online. He did that with no problems. So I was able to grab the statement online. And then, you know, I asked him just a few more questions, like, you're retiring in June. What is your plan for this money? It clearly can't stay in the TSP. It really shouldn't even be there now. And he agreed. And he was like, I don't really know. I don't have any plans. I don't have an advisor. And at that point I was kind of just like, well, I mean, good thing I'm here. I know that we're here for mortgage protection, but I can kind of answer any questions that you have after I finish what we're here to do. And he was really grateful. I wrote him a Term Life Express for the $42,000 of his loan. And then at the end of it, wrapped up like I typically do, and I explained what happens after, you know, he'll get his policy in the mail. And if he has any questions, let me know. I'll be the one to file the claim. And then I kind of transitioned back into asking him a few more questions about his TSP, and then bam-fammed him. I would never try to sell it the same sit. So what I just did is I told him I'm going to come back. I said tomorrow because I was running out of town, so this was about 4 hours away from where I live. So I told him I would come back tomorrow with an illustration and just tell him what I would recommend to someone in his position, and that way he has an idea of what he needs to be able to do in retirement. He did give me originally, when I went back to sit with him the next day, he gave me a lot of the objections of, well, I'm retiring in June, so I should just wait until June. That's when, this was, about a month or two ago, I pulled up the stock app on my phone, and I just showed him, the 3-month look, a year look, and just explained to him the volatility and why would he wait a couple of months to potentially lose, 5, 6, 7% of what he has, when he could just move it now and then have it just secured until he does retire, because whatever he has now is what he has to live on the rest of his life. And it was really a no-brainer. The most important things that I think have helped me be able to write the annuities that I've been writing has really been the AMS training. The foundation that Sean gives us is really just incredible. I know he doesn't really like all of the thank yous, but I really do appreciate all of it. You guys are incredible. And the other thing that has really, really helped me is running illustrations. Like, go onto Athene's website and just run illustrations. Create clients in your head. I do this regularly. Create clients, just run the illustrations, and kind of play around with different scenarios and the different products, and just study the illustrations and look at them, and it really helps you to be able to further explain it to your clients and to answer any questions that they might have and to sound more like an expert. So thank you guys. I appreciate everything. Good luck to everyone.
Hi everyone, my name is Gavin. I'm with Family First Life North. Sean, thank you so much for having me on today's advanced market sales training. What I'm going to go over is how to utilize today's market conditions to increase your annuity sales. A little bit of background on myself is I wrote my first annuity 4 years ago. It was on a door knock, so make sure you knock on doors. You just don't know what they're going to turn into. It was $327,000. I finished with about $400,000 total volume that year. Followed up next year with about $500,000 in issued business. I lost a lot more than I issued that year. And then last year finished with about 1.6 million in closed business. And this year I'm at 1.2 million with a goal of 5 million for the year. And how I think my production increased over the last year and a half is I really simplified things. I think I was complicating things a little earlier on, and I wasn't asking the right questions. I would look at someone's situation and how I wanted to fix it and show them something that could fix their current situation without asking the right questions. And I think it's vital to annuity sales to find out how exactly they want to access that money, if at all. And you ask the right questions and you find the right solution to whatever their concerns are. And you shouldn't have any problems writing annuities, especially in today's market, because there has never been a better market for the products that we have than there are today. And I'm going to show you a few things that I use that it's really simple stuff. It's something that if you've never written an annuity before and you're just learning what they are, this is stuff that you'll be able to take out on day one and show your clients and talk about it with conviction too. Because I think that's the most important part of our annuity sales is the conviction part of it. We do a great job of having conviction when we're talking about life insurance, mortgage protection, final expense, and it's because we know that everyone's going to die at some point. Well, what if you were able to take that same conviction and translate that into your annuity sales? And how much more production would you have there? How many more retirement plans would you be able to protect? And how much income would you be able to earn for yourselves? Now, I've got a lot of conviction when it comes to my annuity sales. And the reason why, first of all, what is conviction? It's an unwavering belief or opinion in something. And I have an unwavering belief that the markets are going to see a major downturn in the near future. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a month from now. I don't know if it's going to be a year from now or 18 months. But history says we're due for a correction, a bear market, a recession, something big. We just don't know what it's going to be. Since 1929, it's been every 8.9 years that we've seen some sort of bear market. And that's when the markets decline and go down. And we're at 10 years now. So it's been at quite a run. The markets are at an all-time high right now, and they didn't just reach an all-time high, last week or a month ago with a chance of pushing higher. The official all-time high is about 9 months ago, but realistically, they've been bouncing around there for about 2 years. And so the economy was doing great, and all these economic factors pushed the stock markets up. And for the last 2 years, been kind of bouncing around the top there. And the last 2 times that happened, it did it for a little bit, then we saw some significant losses. And so one of the things that I use is history. I'm not a Series 6, I'm not a Series 7. I don't have any other license other than an insurance license. I don't have a finance degree in anything whatsoever. So I use history, and I use things from MarketWatch, and I use Google. Because Google's really simple, and I can Google things and find things and show my clients things that they may not be aware of. And so if you look back at the last 20 years, and I'll just take the S&P 500, because that's the top 500 stocks in the country. And you look at the 20-year history there, and here's my little simple chart here, and I usually print something like this up and bring it to my clients and show them. And you can find this, like I said, off MarketWatch or Google, the S&P 500. And so you can see here that after the 90s, we saw a pretty good run, and it was the tech stocks that were really taking off. And then in 2000, we hit a peak with the S&P 500 of 1,500 points. But then they realized that tech stocks weren't actually worth any money. The companies weren't generating any income. And then we saw the crash there, where it actually lost 45%, okay, in a very short period of time. So stock market crashes, loses 45%. Took a little while to start turning back around, and the turnarounds are a little bit quicker than the gains are. But if you're retired and you're utilizing that money, once that market goes down and you're taking some withdrawals, you never gain that portion back. And so then we saw a little bit of run with the housing market. The housing market took off, and right around 2007, we saw the S&P hit 1,500 points again. So that was 7 years. From 2000, 2007, from the time that it hit a peak of 1,500 originally, dropped down until it got back to the original amount of 1,500. Now what that means is that if someone was retired, and just for round figures, say they had $100,000, and they had it in the market, and they lost 45% of it, it took 7 years for them to gain back to their original $100,000, okay? So then we saw the housing market, mortgage market, whatever caused the last recession, and it crashed down, and it lost 49%. Okay? So again, you had $100,000 in the S&P 500, which actually outperforms most mutual funds. Now you've got $51,000. Okay? And so, and again, if you're taking withdrawals off of those, you're not going to gain that money back, even the market does go up. So then the market bounced back, which it typically does. And it took 6 years for it to get back to 1,500. Okay, so and again, any withdrawals taken in there, you're not going to gain those funds back because you're taking money out of there. So we've seen twice in the last 20 years where the markets hit an all-time high, and it took a dive of 49 and 45%, and it took 7 years just to get back to zero. And so here we are today. And the market, the S&P is actually at 2,900 points or just above. We hit an all-time high, like I said, last September. But it's been doing it bouncing around for like about 2 years, just like it did here and just like it did here. And so all the indicators are showing that we're going to see some sort of major loss coming. Like I said, we don't know if it's going to happen next month or next year. But there's 19 indicators that show a bear market is on its way very soon, and we've triggered 14 of them. And so when we're sitting with clients, it's like, okay, you've been on this 10-year stretch. It's a bull market that we've never seen before. It's officially the longest bull market that we've ever had. What do you want out of your retirement now? You've got it exposed to the market. You've got it at risk. What do you want to gain? Because if you've got $200,000 in an IRA and it's at risk there, you're basically, if you want to go by the last two losses, you're putting $90,000 of your retirement at risk. And if you want to put that into years, if you've worked 40 years to get that, you're putting about 19 years worth of contributions at risk for what? What are you trying to gain out of it? Are you hoping that this is somehow going to recover and push a little bit higher? Because if you are, you've got $90,000 or 45% of your retirement at risk, hoping something happens that has never happened before. The markets are at an all-time high right now, and you're expecting them to push a little bit higher. Okay, so that's crazy for people to leave their money in the market. Now, for those people that we meet with and they say, oh, you know, we love our advisor, he's done a great job for us. He has, because his job's been really easy. There's a lot of advisors we come across that haven't been in the business for 10 years. All they know is they got hired there, and here we are today. And so all they've seen is an increase. They don't know what it's like to have clients call them because they just lost 45% of their total portfolio. So our clients are lucky because we have products that can solve these problems. Okay, so instead of having $90,000 at risk in hopes of gaining who knows what, we can secure all this and give them 5%. We've got a bonus, like that last little bark they're trying to squeeze out of it. I tell them, okay, what would 5% feel like? If you're trying to squeeze 5% more out of the stock market, I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you, okay? Because Athene has a great product in my state, has a 5% rollover bonus with no fees. And so you can take the risk off of this. We'll add 5% of your account. And then when the market does dive, because I wholeheartedly believe that it's going to, you don't lose anything. And on the upswing, rather than trying to gain your money back, you're gaining, okay? Because the whole amount's going to be secure, and the markets bounce back. Instead of getting back to zero, we participate in those gains, but none of the losses. And even at an 80% participation rate, rather than having $100,000 or $200,000 after 7 years, you're going to have $365,000. Because you secure the entire amount and you just gain a portion of the gains after that. Now, doesn't that make sense? Okay, so we have clients that still, they don't want to face the fact that their money's at risk. One of the things that I do is I will take their statements and I'll look at where a majority of their money is. I look at the biggest fund that they have there. Most of them have mutual funds. And I'll Google the ticker symbol. And you Google the ticker symbol and you look at the history of that. And most mutual funds, and I just grabbed one out of the thin air. I looked at one of the top 10 mutual funds that advisors are saying this is a must-have for 2019 because it's gained so much in 2018. This must-have for 2019 lost 55% in 2000 and 58% in 2007. So advisors have their clients' money at risk because they're following trends and whatever their brokerage firm tells them to put the clients into based off of risk factors, but they're not looking at the chances of losses. Now, if you look at the markets where they are today and the trends that are going, even if you look up some of the big brokerage firms, Merrill Lynch and Bank of America and some of those other companies, they're telling their clients to move to something safer. What I tell people, that I ask them, has your advisor contacted you to talk to you about moving your funds to a safer fund? And they say, no, they haven't. If they say that, I said, I'm sorry, but you don't have an advisor. Because most are, the big dollar accounts, they're actually preparing them for those losses that are coming. And if you haven't gotten that call yet, because we serve the middle America, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 accounts, those are actually being managed. If they call up, they can get an answer or two about their account, but they don't have somebody overseeing it that's going to help them out. And that's where we come in, okay? We serve middle America. We find them through lead sources. We find them through referrals, whatever it may be. And we sit down and we show them how to protect their assets because somebody who's got $5 million in an account, if they lose $1 million or $2 million, they can still survive. Somebody who's got $200,000 or $150,000 and they lose half of that, their quality of life changes. So our products are so valuable for the people that we serve, the middle America people, because we're preserving retirement plans. And so just by asking a few questions and utilizing a market like this and a simple graph like this can help somebody out. And by keeping it simple and showing the products, like the Performance Elite 10 is what I mostly show people, you show them how much sense is it to leave your money here, try to squeeze out a couple dimes, when I'm going to give you 5%, I'm going to protect the whole amount, and we have no fees whatsoever. So I get a little worked up when I talk about annuities because I believe in them wholeheartedly. And I think that if we can understand the strength of the products that we have, the risk that's involved with some of the clients that we're meeting with, we can actually help our clients protect their retirements, and we can make quite a good living for ourselves too. So that's what I've got for you guys. Hopefully that helps. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thanks.
All right, everyone. Quick segment here. I want to talk about Medicare supplement. This is advanced market sales, advanced market solutions. I don't think MedSup is advanced market. I think it's a commodity, meaning that you have to have it. When you turn 65, you're going to need some form of Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage. And we have some of the best tools and the best commission in the industry for it. There's been a recent hire. We hired a gentleman named Alex Saputo to head up the Medicare supplement division. His email is medsup@familyfirstlife.com. Why am I mentioning that? You need to pay more attention to MedSup. You're literally letting money just fall through your fingers if you don't write MedSup. It's super easy. Americo has a knockout application. It'll give you a approval right there on the spot, instant approval. And then you've got companies like Mutual of Omaha and Transamerica as backups if Americo isn't providing coverage in your area or doesn't have the appropriate price for the client. We sell a bunch of Plan G, okay? And it is identical. Doesn't matter the carrier, the plan is identical. There is no competitive difference. It's based solely on price. So if you want to learn how to make some sales, two things. One, if you go to FFL MedSup Training on Facebook, FFL MedSup Training, we've got contributors like Skylar Smith, people like Ray Deaton, people like Alex Saputo, who are experts in these fields, and they're putting articles up there, putting things to help you make aware of what is available for MedSup. An average MedSup commission is going to pay you about $300. Is going to renew really forever, okay? So if you talk about running 10 appointments in a month, just 10 appointments a month, on a consistent basis, by this time next year, as you roll over with your renewals, you should be making around $3,000 a month, okay? $3,000 a month. Within 5 years, you could be making $150,000 a year. And do you have to buy any new leads? No, they do have some great leads. They have some T65 leads, some T66 leads. That's T for turning 65. Why turning 65? Because when you turn 65, assuming you're not still working and not still on an employer health plan, you're eligible for Medicare. And when you purchase Medicare, or when you get Medicare, you're on your Plan A and your Plan B, you need Medicare supplement to supplement it. So the average premium is going to pay you about $300. And then that renews, all right? So you just keep adding those people in, and the people who keep their MedSup plans, it's about 96% according to Americo. 96% of people who purchase a MedSup plan keep their MedSup plan. So you want something that doesn't cancel, easy to sell. All you have to do is sell your first one. I've sold a policy to my mother. I then sold one to her friend Kathy, all right? And it was that easy. It was just, hey, get on the application. I had to call Skylar and ask him to walk me through it. Had a couple questions I had to ask him. We're set up better than ever. So if you have any questions, if you say, Sean, I have no idea how to get started, please email medsup@familyfirstlife.com, and Alec will personally set aside 10-15 minutes to have a phone call with you and walk you through how to get started. If you're in a client's house and you want to run rates, email medsup@familyfirstlife.com. We've got to get this started. So if you're hungry and you want to make more money, take the money that's being offered. Don't be stepping over these dollar bills just because you say, I don't write MedSup. It's foolish not to write MedSup. If you have a health license and you have an Americo contract or you have a Mutual of Omaha contract, you should be writing MedSup. So go to Facebook, sign up for the training, the Medicare Supplement Training for Family First Life, and email medsup@familyfirstlife.com, and Alec can help you out. All right, everyone. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Brent Abernathy with Family First Life Gulf Coast. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Just real quick, want to say thank you to Sean Ruggiero for having me on the AMS live call this morning. And also, Sean, just thank you for what you've done, kind of paving the way for the growth that we at Family First Life have seen over the last 4 or 5 years in the annuity and in the IUL market. It's a direct reflection of your leadership, your guidance, along with the help of a lot of other leaders out there that have kind of paved the way and stuff. So I'm super appreciative of that. What I want to talk to you guys about real quick this morning is real simple, of kind of, especially to the newer agents that are out there, that, like, I look back when I was brand new, and I was just trying to figure out how to sell life insurance. And to be quite honest, I was scared out of my mind of annuities and IULs. It was something that, I don't know, I look back at it and I was like, I saw these big applications, you know, like these here in Florida, it's like 81-page applications and 60-page applications, things like that. And it was back in the day when we were only using paper. We didn't have the e-apps and things like that. So I was intimidated by them. You know, I look back and it was a situation where I was scared to like mess something up with these clients' retirement money or something like that. I was scared that they would ask me questions inside the house and I wouldn't know the answer to them. So because of me being scared and my fears, honestly, and just full transparency, I would just dodge the subject completely inside the home. I wouldn't bring it up. I would just get the mortgage protection, the final expense application, boom, get out of the house, because I was scared to death of I guess the fear of the unknown, if that makes any sense. I didn't realize how simple, you know, the annuity market and IUL market, I didn't realize how simple and how easy they are. And I look back and I relate it to my first day of playing professional baseball. I was drafted out of high school, was a high pick, go into my first day of professional baseball, and I was on top of the world. I had the world at my fingertips. Then I walk into the clubhouse for the first time, and I'll never forget, I look around and I see guys that are 6'7", 6'8", you know, look like they've lived in a weight room their entire life, and they all know each other, and so they're all talking, laughing, having a good time. I don't know anybody. I'm 6 feet tall, you know, this scrawny little runt just out of high school, and I was super uncomfortable. Like I didn't know what to do. I'm having all these fears and thoughts in my head of man, this might not be for me. I'm away from home, away from my parents, all this stuff. But what I quickly realized is it boiled down to that fear of the unknown. Like I didn't know the guys. I didn't know how good or how bad they were, or if I could compete with them, whatever. But as soon as we stepped out of that clubhouse onto the field, I realized that it was still just the game of baseball. All the bases were 90 feet apart. The pitcher's mound was 60 feet, 6 inches apart. It was still 9 innings, 3 outs per inning. I mean, it was the same game I had always played, right? And once I realized that, it took away that fear of the unknown, okay? So I realized how simple it was. All I had to do was just continue to do what I had always done to get me there. And it's the same thing with the annuities and IULs is we have to ask ourselves, how do we get rid of the fear of the unknown? Because that's what causes a lot of us as new agents to not write IULs and annuities, is the fear of the unknown. So what I would suggest you guys do, because it is super simple, once you dive in and once you gain that, it's like the knowledge is power, right? People say knowledge is power. Well, really, to me, what that means is once you gain knowledge, you gain confidence, okay? So that confidence gives you power to and understanding to move forward in that subject. So what I would suggest you guys do to get over that fear of the unknown, number one, congratulations, you're doing the first part. You're on this call, which is the first thing you need to do to gain knowledge. But listen to all the videos, listen to all the trainings that Sean has put together, obviously not during dial time, not while you're running appointments, late at night, early in the morning, that type of stuff. Listen to all that stuff, dive into it. I would suggest running like some dummy illustrations on people of different ages, people in different situations. Run dummy illustrations for IULs, run dummy illustrations for annuities. Get on the phone and talk to, while you're running appointments, in between appointments, get on the phone and just call the sales desk at these companies at Global Atlantic and at Athene and ask them questions. The more you ask, the more you dive into it, the more you just put yourself in that situation, the more knowledge you'll gain and the more confidence you'll have. Okay, so it is that simple. Don't be scared of it. Unfortunately I was, and I'm urging you guys not to be scared of it. And just understand that this game of IULs and annuities is just as simple as the game of baseball was or is. And know deep down in the back of your mind, if you just dive in, if you just start asking the questions, you just start trying to gain that knowledge, know that you've got a good defense playing behind you as well. You just ask the questions, you just find the money, and if you run into trouble, call somebody. We got all kinds of people. Your manager, somebody who works with you knows exactly how to help you and answer any questions you might have. So just know you've got a good defense behind you, and that should put your mind at ease. So get out there, talk to people about IULs and annuities, and look forward to seeing a bunch of you guys around the country sometime soon. Again, thank you, Sean. Appreciate all you do.